Good evening, everyone. Today it's going to be a very important session because we are going to deal with something called as unconscious bias. Why it is important? Because we as a human being, we don't know that we have all of these things in the first place. We don't know that we are taking decisions based on these bias in first place. We don't know that others are taking decisions for us, or those decisions are having an impact on us because of these unconscious bias. And that is the major reason today I want you to be extremely attentive. Take notes if possible, sit in a quiet place, and let's get started. Even before I disclose what are the unconscious bias and what exactly are we going to talk about in this particular session, I would like to show you something and I would like to ask a question. Respond to me with a thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay. So we know the drill. How do we interact? We stay on the camera. We make it extremely engaging and interactive. Every question that I ask, if you agree, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yes? Are we on the same page here? Yes? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to display a picture and I want you to look at the picture and tell me, what do you see in this picture? Now, I will give you two statements. If you resonate with that, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Okay. Statement number one. There is something like a face, and on top of that face, or on overlapped by that image, there is a hand giving a thumbs up and a hand giving a thumbs down. Is that what you see? Is that what you see? Yes, okay, I am getting a thumbs up from few. If you don't see that, give me a thumbs down so that I can understand that probably you are seeing something else. Is that what you see? Okay, yes, thumbs up for from few and no reaction from the others. Please do participate. Now, the ones who saw a side profile, just outline of it, and a hand overlapping on that, thumbs up hand or a thumbs down hand overlapping on that. Now look at this way. What if a person is standing and then there is a hand from behind and closing the eyes like this, and this eventually this thumb goes down. If you are there, someone from behind closing your eyes, there are possibilities they might do it like this with thumbs up hand, thumbs up finger, and there are possibilities they might do with this thumbs down finger. Yes? Yes? It is not just an overlap of a hand, but someone is closing the other person's eyes, blindfolding the person with their hands. Is this a possibility? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Is this a possibility? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Yes. Now, same image, but two different perspectives. Same image, two different perspectives. Perspective number one, there's an overlap. Perspective number two, someone is blindfolding the other person. Right? Now, this is exactly what is happening whenever we are standing in front of someone for an interview, for a presentation, for any kind of a casual talk or an official talk, anything of that matter. Right now, I'm standing and giving a presentation already. Most of you might have noticed what dress I'm wearing, what color is it, how is my hair, how am I speaking, everything, right? And these inputs or these information can decide or can influence, impact certain decisions. Now, if you look at the term unconscious bias in the internet. This is exclusively for the hiring management, HR professionals. There is an entire course on this, how to avoid unconscious bias. What are the types of unconscious bias? There are 16 types of unconscious bias. And they are doing an exclusive course on that. But most of the unconscious bias, if you see, it has negative representation. What we are going to do right now is use those unconscious bias in favor of us so that we can stand out and get the job that we want. Now, I would like to give a disclaimer here. There are two skills that are extremely powerful and extremely dangerous in this planet Earth. Number one is a manipulative skill. And number two is understanding the unconscious bias. And that is why I want right at the beginning from all of us that we are going to be ethical whenever we are using this. Yes, give me a thumbs up. Absolutely 100% ethical, right? And this also has a drawback. What is a drawback? We can make someone do whatever we want, but imagine it is getting a job. You can make someone give you a job, but after getting the job, if you're not able to fulfill whatever you have promised in the interview, then it's going to be a drawback on you. So be very cautious. It's like a two-edged knife. Have you ever seen a two-edged knife? Like you have to hold it very carefully. Both the edges, it can cut. Both the edges are sharp. If you turn it like this, it can cut the other person as well as you. So that's called as two-edged knife. So this is a two-edged knife, but I want to teach you this because we can use it in our favor ethically to get a job. Right? Are we on the same page? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so now start taking notes. As I told you, unconscious bias is a psychological phenomenon where an individual takes decisions based on certain informations, data, experience, and whatever they feel about it. These decisions are taken in a snap, and that individual has no clue that this is affecting them unless and until they're aware of these unconscious bias. If we don't know that there are these unconscious bias, and if we are not careful about it, we may get driven by this. Okay, and that happens for anyone. Now, the first one is affinity bias. So what is an affinity bias? Affinity bias is something that when there is a similarity between two persons, it is easy for those two persons to get interest in each other and do favor to each other. Yes? So how do we make friends? We make friends by selecting people who are exactly like us. Can we make friends with someone who is exactly contrast to us? Is it possible? Can we live with someone who doesn't resonate any of the principles that we believe in? Is it possible? No, it's a big no, right? And this exactly happens even in the interview. This is called as affinity bias or similarity bias. Let's just say you have or you do, or you have something that the interviewer also interested in. There are high chances that the interviewer might consider you. I'm not going to an extent of giving you the job, but might consider you. But that might considering is a big, huge brownie point for us. When there are 100 resumes, and if you are standing out in that because of that affinity, because of that similarity, common ground we say, right? Now, you stay in their head, there are high chances that you might be considered for the role. Now, how to use it in our favor? Number one is first, understand their interest. Number two, align yourself with what they want. Number three, speak their mind. Number four, mirror them. Ultimate. Now, let me decode this. Understand their interests. How do you understand? Let's just say you are going for an interview and you have no clue who is that person. How do you, first of all, know what are their interests? And that's where research comes in place. Do your research on LinkedIn, company page, everywhere possible. Know the person who is going to interview you. How can you know that? Let's just say you are getting a mail and you would be knowing the name of the person, designation of the person. Go do a research, search them on LinkedIn. When you search them on LinkedIn, if they get to know, if they see the notification, they will feel that, oh, this person has searched about me and I just saw his resume. Now, what happens? It's not just about you searching, doing that affinity thing, but this is also called as a repetition. In learning journey, so I did my meta learning about how to learn. In that, what happens is, if you want to remember something, there are certain steps. Number one is repetition. We know that repetition is the mother of, I forgot. Repetition is the key for to remember everything, right? Now, what does that repetition do? Let's just say someone saw your resume, saw your name and your information and everything, and then they go on their LinkedIn and then your name pops up again, right? Repetition. And then they go and check your profile. Third time, repetition. You stay in their head. Rest all the names, they forget. So do your research. It has multifold impact. Number two, mirror them. How can you mirror them? Let's just say you have done your research, you have taken the keywords, you have understood that what you want to, what are the things that they like? List down what are the things that you like and you do. Now do an alignment. What is an alignment? This is very important, people. If you don't align to the value of the company, please don't join the company. We don't have to work just for the money, because you might get a bigger package, you might get a bigger position, but you won't be happy there. I'm brutal, honest here. As soon as you land there, you would be searching for a next job. We don't want that, right? We don't want to, it's like shifting a house. If you have ever lived in a rented house, you need to find one house where you can stay there for at least 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? You can't keep lifting all your stuff and keep moving here and there, right? Living in a rented house, it's a big hassle. Same way, do not agree to a job because of the position, salary, or anything if you are not aligning your value with them. So first, it's like finding a marriage match. Align, and then when you're talking to them in the interview, use these as the keywords and talk to them about the interest that they really like. Talk to them about the company. Talk to the value that you are aligning with the company, right? Use these keywords so that you can mirror them. If they see you, they should see themselves in you. That's the core agenda. If they see you, they should see themselves in you so that they can give you that post. They can be rest assured that you can take care and they can take a backseat or do something else that they feel worth their time. Then, what is the second bias? This is called as anchor bias. Now, what is an anchor bias? Again, in meta learning, which is learning about how to learn, there is something called primacy and recency effect. Primacy and recency effect. In this entire meeting, you would remember what I said first and what I said at the end. Yes? How many of you have felt that? How did I open and how did I close? That would stay in your head all the time and you would forget everything in between. That's called as primacy and recency effect. Now, how can we make use of this in our favor? Number one, highlight keywords in your resume. So your keywords should not have everything that you have done from your birth until now. No. Highlight what they want to see. Take the job description, match your job skills, highlight that only in your resume. Rest all is irrelevant, completely irrelevant. They are looking for someone who can hold the position, who can do the job. Show them that you can do it. Number two, be the first to smile. So I'll add the word to here. Be the first to smile. When you are on a virtual meeting or a face-to-face meeting, be the first one to smile. Yes, I know that if we are going to the interview, we might be nervous, we might feel anxious, but take a deep breath. Is it so difficult? Is it so difficult? Now, what will happen again? When you take a deep breath, I've been repeatedly telling this in all my sessions. When you take a deep breath, your brain gets oxygen, you feel relaxed, anxiety runs away, and it is easy to smile, right? Be the first to smile. Have a firm handshake. There was this one interview where I finished 2-3 rounds and they called me for a face-to-face round. The first thing, after 4 years of gap, I was attending an interview. I went over there. I shook hands with the person, HR. Finished the interview. I wasn't aware of my body language. Finished my interview, finished my presentation. I thought that I was extremely confident. I thought that I did a brilliant job, walked out. And then I got to know that my handshake was like a dead fish. The first thing, the first touch, the first contact, my brilliant presentation, dump it in the garbage. What stuck in their mind? The first primacy, my handshake, was like a dead fish. Never do this mistake. Now, all these things you might know as a theory. I did know as a theory, but still I made this mistake because I wasn't doing my practice. I wasn't creating a simulation around me. I wasn't telling someone to help me play the role and let me be the candidate. Let me shake the hand. Tell me how is my handshake. I didn't do it. So I missed out. It skipped my mind. It slipped my mind. And my impression is gone. First impression is gone. So don't do this mistake. Number 3, leave a follow-up note. Now this is about the recency effect. What are you doing at the last will also stay in their mind. So after the dead fish handshake, after the presentation, which they would never remember, because of the impact of the handshake, what I did is I came back home. I sent a heartfelt thank you note, gratitude note to the HR. Final thing, and they're going to remember it forever. Recency effect, please leave a follow-up gratitude note. And then so if you do the first 3 things, you will be the first and the last in their mind. Now we are using this as an anchor bias. Now what is an anchor? Anchor is, let's just say there's a ship and there's a heavy storm. In order to stabilize the ship, they use so here you see, this is how the anchor looks. So some of you might be knowing, please bear with me. This is for people who don't know. So this is how the anchor looks, and it is tied one end with the rope. The other end of the rope is tied to the ship. Now what they do, they drop this in the water, and this goes, it gets buried a little bit because of its shape under the mud. And what they do is they pull the ship. So there's a procedure. You might want to go and check it in the Google. This very interesting. I got to know very recently. So what they do is they take the ship a little backward so that it gets strong. So when there is a wind, when there is a toss, the ship is safe. Anchor safeguards the ship. Now this anchor, which means it stays in their head like an anchor, you cannot remove it. Okay, moving on to the third bias. The third bias is authority bias. Now this the authority bias happens where there is credibility. Credibility brings trust. Now there's a reason I've put this picture. It is brain over crown. That's the line, brain over crown. Crown shows authority, brain shows knowledge, right? Now, what happens when you use authority bias in favor of you? Usually, if you check it in the Google, authority bias means someone who is in the hierarchy, who is in the higher position, whatever they say, people tend to believe without cross-checking. So that is what is authority bias. Now, we are going to use this bias in favor of us in the resume. While talking, while answering your question, how? Authority happens if you have a tangible proof. If you show that you are an expert in the field. Now, how to show? Most of us, we do this very, very, very important or very crucial mistake, which is we write our entire resume in vague explanations. The numbers should speak for you. Let's just say you are telling that I've handled this project, I've handled that project, I've been in this project, I've led this team, I've led that team. But what will happen if you don't use numbers? You might miss on creating your authority over there. Imagine you telling, I've led a team of 40 where we handled quote unquote, some project for 6 months and we delivered results without delaying with customer satisfaction of 100%. So here I used 3 numbers, 40, 100%, 6 months. It shows that you are someone who can handle a team. It shows that you are someone who can drive a project. It shows that you are someone who will stick to the deadline. It shows that you are someone who can manage, organize, and it shows you are someone who keep your word. And it shows, very important, you are someone who focuses on customer satisfaction, which is very crucial in a lot of industry. So what we should do? Number one, we should use numbers when we are answering a question in the resume to show tangibility and to show expertise. Now, moving on to the next one, which is contrast effect. Now, what is a contrast effect? Standing out in the crowd. We know that when there is blue ocean, and then let's just say you see a huge ship. Blue ocean and a huge ship. Do you see the ocean or do you see the ship? Ocean, ship. If you see the ocean, give me a thumbs up. If you see the ship, give me a thumbs up. Ship, right? So right now, see, in this picture, completely blue. But where your focus goes to that orange pulp, right? Exactly. Now, this is where we need to show that we are not average industry standard. How many of you have faced this problem of the average industry standard of your salary package for this position is? Yes. Now, we need to show them that we are not average industry standard employees. And that is why we don't accept average industry standard package, right? Now, how to do it? Do all the above that I shared in the first place and do all the things that I'm going to share for the next 5 minutes, right? We are not average industry standard employees, so we cannot accept average industry standard package. And that is our major contrast. Speak your vision. Don't just ask for job. How many of you have been in this situation that I want this job because I want that job because I want this job because I want that job because? In contrast to that, I want this job because I have a vision of this, because I want to do this in the next 5 years. It can be an IT job. You might be in a project development sector. You can be in an IT sector. Still, you can figure out your vision. If you don't have a vision, which means you cannot find your interest in the job. If you don't have interest in the job, you cannot be above average. Because everyone wants the job for money, right? But if we want the job not just for money, to prove ourselves or to develop the skills that we want, but you need to have a long-term vision. Why do you need this particular skill? If you are in a company, do you want to help the company grow to a bigger milestone? Find out what the company is missing out. Figure out a skill. Learn that. Be above average to get a package that is above average. Now, moving on to the third point. I've covered this complementary skills. The skills that will support your existing role and the upcoming role. Very important, branding on LinkedIn. Please don't miss this out. Vamsi's been telling this for really a long period right now. Please make sure that you put your efforts here. Then the penultimate effect or penultimate bias is the halo effect or halo effect. Now, what is this halo effect? Most of us might have been in this situation. When we see someone who is not so well dressed, we might judge that person that, he's not rich. He doesn't have money at all. When we see someone with the suit and the boot, oh, maybe this person has a lot of money, right? Now, this is halo effect. Now, this effect, not just for rich and poor, it also happens in other areas as well. People making snap judgment. Judgment, not in 5 seconds, not in 10 seconds, snap judgment in a fraction of a second. Now, how can we make that in our favor? Number one is have your clear headshot on the LinkedIn. Number two, optimize your LinkedIn profile. Number three, post strategically. It's not just about posting, it is strategic posting and comment thoughtfully. I've already told this. This post is super. I agree to it. I like it. You are super. You are amazing. Waste of your time. Thoughtful comment. If you don't feel like commenting on a post, it's okay. Skip the post. It's absolutely okay. We don't have to do favor for anyone. We don't have to increase their impression. If you feel like commenting, put your heart and soul in that comment and share what you feel. That will make an impact. Now, if we do this, what will happen? If someone goes through your profile, if someone sees your resume, immediate snap halo effect happens, which is this person is on LinkedIn, these many followers are there, this person is getting so much of impression, so much of engagement, this person is commenting on a lot of posts, including my post. So this person might be an expert. You got it? Right? That's what halo effect or halo effect can do to you. Finally, this is the final thing to wrap up. What do you see on the picture? Is it tired candidates sitting, sweating, irritated, waiting for their turn? They didn't say anything, but we made so many meaning out of it. And this is called as non-verbal bias. Your body speaks louder than your words. You might say something, but your body might say something else. And this might have a bigger impact in your interview. How to overcome this? As I told, wear a smile, have a deep breath, firm handshake. One last thing, look into their eyes and speak. Now, not just this, if you feel that you need this is not enough, yes, all of these things are there, but I need help in order to implement all of these things, then if you are not yet a part of Career Dua community, I invite you to be a part of Career Dua community. What you need to do is just go to this Facebook, drop your top 3 takeaways from this particular session and type I'm in so that our team can get in touch with you and help you. This is only for people who are not yet part of Career Dua community. Type I'm in so that the team can get in touch with you and help you take all of these things to your favor so that you can crack your next job. Tomorrow, it's going to be an interesting session from an industry expert called Asrar Moeddin. He's an associate director of global talent acquisition of Food Hub. Tomorrow, he's going to be here to help you understand the insider's view, how an HR will look at a candidate. So he's going to share a lot of amazing stuff. Be there tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp. See you tomorrow.